live. Woo! And yes, I'm early. Hello, country lady. And yes, I am early. So there. Hope you're having a good day today. Mutagen. We have exactly one of the mutagen I need. Do we have a solar quartz? Do we? No. No, I can. Oh, hate that. That's no fun. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, I have to say, I figured that I would stream a little something, just because it seems like most of the East Coast is socked in with weather. I even asked Dave if he wanted to do something, and he said, no, I'm having pretty storms here too, a lot of storms here too, so he didn't. I understood that. Now, he and my dad are first cousins. I graduated from high school and college with his youngest daughter. Yeah, that ain't no fun. Where do I want to put this thing I'm trying to build? Considering moving all the DNA stuff over in that corner. But it looks so good downstairs too, so. Well, quite frankly, I'm not terrible. Got a tiny little bit of a headache, but nothing as serious as it could be. Tier 4 mutagen. However, I got the feeling that because I'm streaming right now, I might not stream in the morning. I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm still kind of mulling over what to do tomorrow. I think I know where there's some rods that might be. None of them super alloy. went to acupuncture, went to lunch with the boss. Have had a pretty good day. You know, so I can't really argue. The weather here has been just beautiful, other than being just scaldingly hot. Yeah, we're having heat indexes up in the hundreds here now. I will say that the acupuncture appointment went well, but they usually do. It's extremely relaxing most of the time. Boy, that's... Oh, and knocked the power out. Dang. Hello, Darlene. Come on, fly. Being a terrific pain in the butt. And I have to say, I usually start out with checking the numbers. We're almost 40% to complete terraformation in this game. And other than that, I wonder. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Still should be able to play Saturday morning unless Dad needs me to be with him. He and our cousin were really close. They grew up together. And I understand that, and you do whatever you have to do, you know. This is a game and doesn't take precedence over real life. I know you will. Now, I need to get that off of my screen. And I've done it. I think I'm going to fly right over here. Oh, that looked like that had frog eggs in it, and it did. Not that I'm building a lot of frog eggs, but I was considering 2 or 3 different things to play this afternoon. And I realized that I wear poor old Planet Crafter out, but when it works with your physical problems, kind of feel like one-trick pony at times. However, folks keep showing up, so I can't really argue. Hello, Shaman. And yes, I started early. In the world. That's the one I was wanting, because that's the one we have the least of. Nice to see everyone was having withdrawals. Well, I decided to step up to the plate. I did contact Dave and say, hey, would you like to play some Viscera cleanup detail? And he said, no, the weather's not good here. I think I'm just going to take the afternoon off. He said the power was flickering in his house, and I understood that, just like Amp Andreas. Shaman, stay as long as you can, and we'll go from there. And that's unusual that someplace else in the country is having power problems. That's usually a Texas thing, because the power grid here is abysmal. And I have to say, I understand, because computers are expensive things, and I do everything I can not to get them blown up, that's for sure. And I've lost computers to power surges and found it to be no fun. Where in the world? What in the heck? I think I know where I'm at, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, just right off the bat, I'm in a green cave. After that, I don't guess it really matters. Come on. Seeing all these caves I haven't seen before. Ooh. Alright, we're going to leave that there. And I can't pick up not another blessed thing. However, I appreciate you guys being here. It means a great deal to me. Gosh, I forgot we had a vehicle in this game. you were streaming. I needed the distraction. Earlier in chat, your family had been called in on a cousin. Ah. I'll let you explain that even though I know. $53,117. I'm considering doing some housekeeping. Come on. Up, 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 up. Oh, come on. Fly. There you go. I'm not unhappy with that, but and now I need iron. Not quite sure what to do about that. But we'll let that be what it is. I was also considering, whoops, jumping off the side of the building, making couches. So for down here, good afternoon, Mayhem. How are you, sir? I've got to go AFK for just a second. Whoop, whoop. I'm dropping stuff now. This is not good. Hi, Pearl. How are you? I will be right back. Had to get something to drink. Say that again? Nah, it's fine. Okay, I'm back. Now that we've got a few people in here, for those of you who don't know, this is my ice biome start. I tend to fall back to this game when I can't figure out anything else to do. Which I know is boring. However, this is me you're talking about. I'm pretty boring in and of myself, so now I just have to figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing. I need one more gold effigy, and that will be complete, and then animals and whatever. Let me see here. I was going to say that looked like your old base, because it is. Yep, because it is. Country lady, I am white, bread white. I'm whiter than a snowman in a blizzard. And I'm okay with it. Sometimes you gotta. Okay, what was I doing besides going crazy? But you can't go someplace you're already at, so I can't go crazy. But vanilla's the best. Any other time I would be forced to agree with you. Mayhem, very nice. And I recognize some of those pieces of that star that you just sent to my Discord. Impressive. I must disagree with you, Shaman. I am crazy about salted caramel. And I was eating salted caramel ice cream night before last. And do I have it in the house all the time? Yeah. Oh. Where am I going? Right out through here to put a door on the end of this, because I'll eventually get a pic of mine on my brother's base on Discord. This week's been a bit crazy. I haven't even turned our PC on. Wow. Well, you said that it was going to be on Monday. You said the rest of the week was going to be tough. Yes, they're a copy of 10 of my rack of 16 ribbons I left the military with. I was one ribbon away from having 6 rows. But heck, my son's ribbon rack, he's got me beat. And as I'm sure you're aware, Mayhem's all part of being in the right place at the wrong darn time. I've got food, I've got water. You can add the Cold War ribbon now. Really? I did not know that. And I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going there. Pardon me for just a second. Now that I've got that on my mind, if I don't go look it up, it'll nag me. Cold War Victory Medal is official medal, not an official medal of the United States government, but is a state National Guard medal in Louisiana and Texas. U.S. military veterans who served honorably during Cold War, 1945 to 1991. While not an official military decoration, it commemorates recognition of those who contributed to Cold War effort. Ah. Yep. That would be me. I think where I'm wanting to go is back over here. And I have to apologize in advance. It's going to be dark. Did we leave anything in there other than just... And I believe that I've been in here. Oh. Well, I don't need a tier 3 heater, so there's no reason to deconstruct them. That's pretty much been picked through. I do wish there was a light switch in here, but there's not. Hey, Shaman, look what I found. Yeah, spacesuit follow. Not that you can see me in it, but I found it. Don't need any of that. Okay, what am I doing? Besides going crazy. Don't really need it, but I'm not gonna not take it. Okay. Do I need to fly back over? And just so everybody can have a look at the new swimsuit, spacesuit. Come on, back down. got that creamsicle kind of look. Soon the breeze will be blowing through your luxurious locks. Ah! You know, sometimes the best thing about streaming isn't what you're streaming. Looks like an orange push-up. Yeah, it does. It's the people in your chat that make it funny. I needed this today. It's been a rough one, huh? It's like an orange creamsicle. Yeah, pretty much. Uh-oh. That's one thing about somebody who streams on the regular and then they don't. Um, you know, I know that there's people sitting here waiting, and sometimes I can do something about it, and other times I just can't. And I just went, there's not a reason not to. You know, it could have been a whole lot worse. But all I can say I've done today is go to acupuncture and eat way too large of a lunch. So, you know, this I could do. Oh, don't tell me you're not going to let me back there. Pain in the butt. I get the feeling yeah. And for those of you who don't follow this game, the reason why I am collecting the blueprints is because that's the way they upgrade the game when they have an upgrade. So every time after an upgrade, go get your blueprints out and try to scan them. I will do whatever it takes to quit this planet. I had to dig deep to find resources needed to build a launch platform. The storms have been less frequent lately. I need to find a big meteor crater, build a platform at the bottom of it to be protected from the wind. The magnetic fields on this planet are completely crazy. It's the first time in my life I've seen anything like this. Once again, I'll leave this shelter and hope to be able to make it. Iklos in 3040. Finished all I needed to do at work today, so all I was doing is sitting here thinking about my cousin. Yeah. Come on. What? Don't tell me I don't have it. I got a water filter on, but it sure isn't giving me the prompt. There we go. country lady, you will be in my prayers, and your cousin will. That's never an easy thing to deal with. Quite welcome. Now, I've got to give Country Lady credit. I wrote her the other morning privately, just because I could see she was online, and we'd said good morning back and forth to each other, and so I knew I wasn't waking anybody up. And I said, will you please pray for me? I've got to make a trip to the DMV today, which was yesterday. She said, oh my, I certainly will. And I got to admit, got in and out of the DMV in record time. Was talking to a woman who also related to me, because I had to list my health problems on the form that I had IBS, and she said, I've got it too, and we swapped success stories back and forth, and I hope to the good Lord above it helped her, because although I've still got it, I am way better controlled than I was in my mid-30s. That was... I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. There's nobody I dislike that much to see somebody go through that. And you know, I give her a lot of credit that I had the best trip to the DMV I've ever had. And it didn't cost me anything, because if you're over 60% disabled in the state of Texas, driver's license services don't cost anything. So I didn't expect that. And there ain't nothing. I've got no way to get some of this out of my... Oh, I'm one short foot. And I'm still one short. I think I'm going to make a bigger container to put all this in. Glad there's something else for to hang out in Discord, basically work on the Discord. Yeah. Yep. I'm going to need a two super alloy and a circuit board. No, I don't even need the circuit board. I got them on me. Heck yeah. And then I am going to I got the last 10% out of the VA, so I'm 100% now. If I had 10 more percent of residuals, I would be at 90, but right now I'm only at 80. And there's not a thing I can do about it. I have absolutely positively not another thing. And that jump from 90 to 100% is big. Yeah, my best friend is 100%. some conditions get worse over time. You can ask to be reevaluated. I've asked to be reevaluated on everything. We went through all of my records, picked out anything that could be, went to a slew of appointments, got increases on some things, and you know, there's nothing else to get. And my left shoulder, which vexes me, bothered me in the military, and I didn't go to the hospital enough over it. So I can only say if you have a relative that's in the military and they're not going to get their conditions evaluated while they are on active duty or in the Guard, they need to, because it could mean something to them once they get out. Okay, bacteria samples. No, and you're right. When you say we never thought about that while we were in. The night that I fell and messed up my left hip, I was 28 years old. I was washing a car at 4:30 in the morning. I was on a ramp so you could spray the sand out from under the vehicle, and I stepped between the two ramps behind the car and slipped and fell right on my left glute. And, you know, I got up and beat my chest. Hell, I was Superman at that point in time. You know, when you're 28, you don't think anything will ever get you down. And it took me 3 days to go. But once I went, you know, I said, hey, it's been giving me heck ever since I fell washing this truck. And that's been the big one. You know, and they rated my sciatica and everything as service related, and my IBS, and I'm getting as much for IBS as you can get. Yeah, invincible and indestructible, and you'll think that way about yourself, you know, at such point in time as you're, you know, young and dumb. I don't know what I was going to do with that one, but it's here. Flares and keys, yes. Maybe it would be a good thing to have a nephew in the Army. He started out in jump school, but his knees got to bothering him, so he switched. I think he's flying drones now. No matter what, tell him under no uncertain terms to make sure that if he's having physical problems, that he goes. My arthritis in my hips started showing itself at age 37, and I was still on active duty, and I should have went to the hospital every day. The darn things hurt me because I was dumb. You know, dumb. Yeah, I was not smart. Okay. Don't know that I need any of that. Oh, that looks like stuff sticking. Okay, that is stuff sticking out of the ground. I don't know that I need any of the rest of that. I know something I do need is a fusion cell, but did I bring one? No. Do we have one? Yes. Back at the base. Something else I can use too. Yeah, when you're in your 20s, you don't have a thought in the world about how bad your 50s or 60s are going to hurt. And I wish somebody had explained that to me, but no, I was too dumb. However, having said all that, I'm not unhappy with how things are. I'm lucky. I have huge amounts to be thankful for. And I'm going to go up the steps. It's inconceivable, yeah. Uh-oh. Do not deconstruct your bomb. Oh, that was a teaser. Alrighty then, 2 planet viewers. Before I get too wound up in here, I'm going to go back down. Going to go find the exit. Going to get the fusion cell. Nope. However, I've got to say, Were I in a similar health situation as I was at 22 when I went in and I could go back in, I'd probably go. It was probably the most fun I had in my life doing anything. But it's a young man's thing, that's for sure. My son's within a year of retiring, and he's just wanting it to, the quicker the better. Okay, this is not where I have no regrets. Absolutely not a one. I met some really great people along the way, and take that one for sure. Solar quartz. I have often said if I didn't go in the Air Force, I would probably have been sitting at home in East Tennessee selling drugs. Would not have struggled through both knee spine issues, and they were work-induced only to find they were also degenerative issues. He never had checked. Both my brothers and I now have it. Yeah. Yeah, and also I can say that my grandmother was beset with arthritis terribly, and I didn't realize it. One of my cousins told me, said, she can't bend down and get in the tub. And I went, really? I can't wait for the cooler weather. Yeah, I'm in Florida moving to Kansas on the 1st. I understand that. Suddenly feel older now. My nephew's 34. Holy crap, when did that happen? It's quicker than you might imagine. One thing I have to say, I moved from South Carolina to Texas that really tripped me up. And South Carolina is not all that hilly. Okay, I'm not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time futzing around in this place. I'm leaving. South Carolina isn't all that hilly, but I was close enough to East Tennessee where I'm from. I went home, quite a bit of the time. And oh, come on. Why aren't you flying? Because you're not above ground all the way, obviously. And moving to Texas, how flat it is here was just crazy. Something that I had to deal with when I first got here was I live in a place with a hell of a lot of subdivision, and it's crazy to the point that I'd go out in the mornings walking the dog and such, and all of a sudden it would be like, where did I get all this trash in the yard? Did somebody come and throw this in my yard? No, the wind blows so badly that it's just like, always rough. And that was one of those things that I had to wrap my mind around when I got here was the fact that it's very, very windy on nearly a daily basis. I'm going to take that with me. So, Pearl, it will probably be pretty, I've never lived in Florida. We asked our dad to go to Disney World, whatever is in Florida. And he didn't like Florida and would not take us. Just flat said no. But South Carolina and southern Georgia, I've at least drove through and around in there. I haven't even been in Florida. My son went to Daytona one year with his mom. Other than that, I've never come close. Let me, 1, 2, 3. Fusion cells. That's what I came back for. Fusion cells. No, I have to admit, I spent 2.5 years in Alaska while I was in the military, and um, I also spent time in Minot, North Dakota, and those are two of the coldest places I've ever been. Minot was absolutely worse than Alaska. The wind chill was nasty in Minot, as I remember it. Uh, Alaska, where I was at in Fairbanks, wasn't all that bad. It wasn't real windy. It was surrounded by mountains on the north and the south, and there was, we didn't have a lot of wind chill problems. In Anchorage, you'll freeze yourself absolutely to death because of wind chill. And North Dakota and the plains are also the same way, and I'm sure Kansas would be similar. I was born and raised in Mississippi and never lived anywhere else. The average person in the United States typically doesn't move far from where they were born. But because my dad was in the military, all of my family's in East Tennessee. I was not born there. Blah, blah, blah. It was easy when I went to look up my family tree. I knew, where I was going toward. All right, I'm going back toward that. So that tells me the wreck is going to be around here somewhere. Used to have to put conventions on in Orlando in July. I left the hotel once first year. Almost fainted from the humidity. Never left the hotel again after that. Yes, South Carolina's the same way. It's humid darn near beyond words. Yeah, East Tennessee the whole East Coast is very humid. Yeah, here in Central Texas, it's almost, pleasant. There's a reasonable mix. It's not glaringly humid all the time. But on the days that it is, it's pretty sticky. All right. I gotta find where the darn battery goes, because this place is dark. Mm-hmm. Says it's bad there too. Says it's like breathing rain. I guess I'm close enough to the Gulf that it's not as terrible as it could be. But yeah, east of the Mississippi, where I was just in northern Louisiana a few weeks ago. It was humid and nasty up there. Well, now that's the darn it. The This flashlight is about useful. Almost have to strike a match and see if it's lit. Yeah, people here go on about how bad the humidity is. And what they don't realize is that further east it's even worse. I don't know that I need that. I don't know what my wife's watching, but it sounds like horror. And that's unusual because she isn't into horror. I'm going to take that at the very least. I figure if they've got this many obstacles up here, okay, fine. One, two, oh, we hit the jackpot. Kudos to you guys who can live in humidity. I couldn't do it. Yeah, it's not pleasant. I don't really need that. Let's sort and throw all that in there. Yeah, it's nasty down here. Yes, it is. I got to say, in Central Texas, though, the heat is really a killer, and they're talking about it getting above 100 in regular temperature. Been the most states on the East Coast as far north as Washington, but west of Mississippi. I've only been to Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Yeah. Gonna have to take that and that, and those two. And it's obviously raining outside because I can hear it in game. Come on, I just want to open all these doors. Just show me where it's at. Use 2 keys, pick one back up. That's not terrible. Alright, we're going on up. However, I don't know what I'd do if I did find the place to put the fusion cell in, because heck, I haven't got any storage to do it. At least get one of those. I had a break from the heat today, but only because it's rainy and nasty out. Yep. I've already got one of you, so you're staying here. I don't need it, but I got it. Nope. Ah. Come on. Don't deconstruct that. Hey, would you look there? Oh, heck. Why have I been carrying around a Terra token? And I'll leave that right there because I really don't need it. It would be a lot of fun, but don't need any of that. Came with as many keys as I left with. That works. And for as much as I turned the lights on, it didn't seem to do much good. I would love to have that blue quartz. Let's make a trade here. Keep getting this one poster. Just that one. I want another poster. I don't want that one. I've already got it. Alright, I'm not. That's what. Okay, I know what's going on now. Nothing really to see here now. Alright, already been there. Time to go back this way. Nope, got everything I need out of there. Yeah, I think I know where I'm going. Or I'm going to lie and say I do. No. That's not where I want to go. I either find the exit here real soon or I go and press F4 again. Looking like the best thing to do. Just don't have time to futz around with this. Come on, let me out. Out, out, out. Up, up, up. Whoa. Now, I know that technically what I just did was cheating, but they've left it in the game for if you get stuck. So is it really cheating? Yeah, probably. It'd probably burn you. Oh. I'm trying to think if I've ever came up through lava in one of those, and I really do think it would burn you. Because if you fall into it, that's an achievement for being burnt by the lava. Are you suggesting Johnny test it for science? He probably is, but that's okay. And if that is a blueprint, yep, that's solar quartz right there. Woohoo! So now we can make them. Oh, right here's another one full of blueprints. Well, okay. I just went and done stupid there. Oh, absolutely. Oh, the bad part about it is, yeah, we can go do that. Let me see. Obsidian. I still have 2 hours at work. Yes, I know. And here we are. Come on. Come on. Up, up, up. And if you stayed in it long enough, it would definitely mean death. Tested for science. No, you have to start under the lava and come up. Do it. Country lady needs entertainment. Oh. Well, let me see if I can find a way. Oh, you're still in the... Let me get my bearings about where I'm at, and I might be able to do it. Because there is a cave in the volcanic area. Nothing like a lava bath. Yeah. Okay, that's going toward the beach. This is going back toward... Okay, I know where I'm at now. There is a gold chest over here too. I was a little surprised that once I told it I wanted to keep flying and there was no flying happening. I had to press F4 to get out of the lava when I got in it. You have an option for a lava shower as well. Yes. Well, that would be go under one of those. Have I been in here? Or has anyone else been in here? Somebody left a lot of aluminum. Would that do it? I wonder. We're at least close to it. Oh no, look at, oh, what a bunch of hooey. Well, come on, I know there's a cave around here. I've been over here only 1,000,000 times. And there's that, so. Nope, nope, nope. Make sure I've got a little bit of food on me. And there is lavium frog eggs. Don't ever remember seeing that. And there I got my other effigy I was wanting. And now, oh, come on. Nope, won't let me. But it did let me go up, and it did burn me on the way up. I just couldn't go all the way through. So that answers your question. For science, yes. And there's a whole nother wreck I could go into. What time is it? We've been at this hour and 20 minutes. However, let me see if I've got the stuff for a beacon. Because this would really be good. No, I do not. Take this golden effigy and throw it right there. You got the effigy, so that's a bonus. I think we wanted more melting, but that'll do. You're just begging for me to die. I see how it is. It's like going to a NASCAR race. You're just begging for somebody to crash. to go tell my wife. Wanted me to melt. Let me see. Let's get of those. And let's get 4 of these. Something's a storming. At least it's not all left turns. Yes, absolutely. Well, that's why I watch Formula One racing, because go fast, turn left, don't wreck. Just don't do it for me. Make sure that I didn't leave anything in there. No, I did not. Feel reasonably certain, for as close as this is to the base, I've been here more than once, but have I been in the other side of it? Not only have I been here, I've also removed the locker that was here. Well, none of that deconstruct, not I'd ever love a bit of it. I can't even get the office chair blueprint. Exactly, same here. Trying to get back to watching F1, got out of it, but feel like it's got exciting again. The Canadian Grand Prix was just last week, and I have to admit that had more lead changes in it than any I've seen. I got to tell you, if you don't want to hear about it, say so now, and I will shut up. I was going to give you my opinion about F1 this year, but you might not want to hear it. It's all McLaren's to lose, in my opinion. If McLaren's 2 drivers are Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, and if Lando Norris doesn't start not making mistakes, Oscar's going to eat him for lunch. Yeah. NASCAR is almost 50-50 road courses, but have other issues. And you're not wrong about that. And I grew up in and around where NASCAR was born, and I've just never been a NASCAR fan. Coming up on 3 TTI, we've been in there. Wow, that's hard to look at. Red Bull does not have the car they've had in previous years. Their second driver situation has kind of hurt them, in my opinion. And I'm a Max Verstappen fan. I paid $130 for a Red Bull shirt like they use, the crew shirts like they use in the pits, and I don't wear the thing all that often because it's a pain in the arse to wash, but Red Bull is still a force to be reckoned with, but its not the force that it was. Their car is, since they lost Adrian Newey as their designer, their car is not near as good as it's been in previous years. Um, but I really think Ferrari thought that snagging Lewis Hamilton, and if you don't know, you don't know, he's a 7-time world champion. And if you put a good car under him, he's a heck of a driver. But if you don't put a good car under him, he's kind of a whiner. He doesn't impress me. Like a Michael Schumacher, you could put a bad car under Michael Schumacher, and Michael Schumacher would wring its neck for all it was worth and beat other people in better cars. He was so much more of a driver. One of our radio shows DJs is into F1, and I forgot which team, so I've gotten interesting to me again. Yeah. Fernando Alonso is another one. You put him in a bad car, the guy will drive the wheels off of it. And if, that's the thing that separates the men from the boys in F1, in my opinion. Every car is supposed to be bespoke built, and it is. Some are close, they'll copy from a certain extent from each other. But, the quality of the cars and how fragile they are. Ferrari, I think, thought they were going to be much better off with Lewis Hamilton, and I really think Carlos Sainz was their driver last year. He's starting to come to grips. He's at Williams, who is now coming to grips with the car, and he's starting to come on for them. He's a much better driver, in my opinion, but he's younger and hasn't ever won a world championship, and I think that guy's going places. His dad, Carlos Sainz Sr., was a rally racer in the early 80s and won titles and such. I agree about Schumacher. A good driver elevates the car. Oh, you're absolutely, interesting. You're absolutely correct. More than one story about Schumacher, them telling him, you need to go drive qualifying laps, and he would 10 laps in a row within tenths of each other. The guy was just a machine. And if you ever read anything about, F1, one of his mechanics by the name of Steve Matchett, when he was with Benetton, when his career first started out, has written books. That guy is a very good writer, very well spoken, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, has his own YouTube page, doesn't talk a lot about F1 sometimes. When they were having F1 coverage from somebody other than ESPN, he was one of the commentators. And when ESPN got F1 rights, they turned around and did Sky Sports from the UK just carte blanche. Said, we're going to, whatever you feed us, we're taking. They have no commentators of their own, Steve Matchett is very well written. He's, like I said, got 3, possibly 4 books. I've read 3 of them. That, he was the rear jack man for the Benetton team for 10 years. But he did other things too. And now you got me running my jaws about F1, and I forgot what I'm doing. But I'm okay with it. Let me see. What can I do here? Don't want to go that way. Want to go this way. Let's build a couple of those, or at least one. Oh, I can get water right over here because there's still a load of it. Okay, the fertilizer is over here. What got me watching F1 in the first place, I got divorced in the middle 90s and sent my son to my ex-wife's house for the summer, and I woke up and it was Memorial Day weekend, and they were just ending the Monaco Grand Prix, and I saw the drivers' interviews after the Grand Prix, and have been watching ever since then. Woke up from a nap and had missed the race, and before it became that I could record it, anything happened during F1 coming on, I remember my son calling and said, "This better be important. Formula One is on, and state your case and let me do whatever it is I'm doing." If he'd had a serious problem, I would have stopped everything, you know. But yeah, now because I record it anytime it comes on, I watch it at my leisure. I'll frequently watch qualifying and the race back to back. Practice doesn't really mean anything anymore. They used to show first practice, second practice, qualifying, and the race on race weekends when Speed Vision was running it, and I wouldn't miss it no matter what, unless I was out of town. Okay, do I want to go until 4 o'clock? And if so, I've got 40 minutes, and I better figure out something other than running my mouth and drinking ginger ale. Let's go back down here and open up another portal. Two green, 3 pink, 2 purple, and a blue. Boy, I accidentally pressed a button while it was lagging and almost closed that thing. And I don't have any keys or flares or anything. Fun. I do have a little bit of food. Ah, there's a wreck. Probably don't need all that, but here we are. Feel like a good strong mixed drink. Yeah. And I just got a flare, so there's that problem taken care of. Country lady, once when I was working for the state of South Carolina, I went home one afternoon, stopped at a liquor store on the way home, got the fixings for Bloody Marys, walked through the door, mixed 3 Bloody Marys, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what was the problem, but I wasn't having a good day. Let's take that and that. Let's walk right over here. probably went no place quick. Well, now I have a trash can blueprint. I won't drink one though. I feel like it would only be the beginning of something I couldn't stop. Well, yeah, I have a family history of alcoholism through my dad's family, and that's part of the reason why I don't drink. But I never drank a lot even when I did. So now you should be able to pick all that up. It's sitting up there, but no. We don't need that. That's where I came from. Okie dokie. Animal spreader rocket. That might almost be worth going back, and I've been picking up rocket engines like they were going out of style. Might leave this one open since I don't have a battery. And I know that I can get alright, I saw the alright. There it is. I know I need a rocket engine, I need something else, and I need 6 genetic components for that. So that's a 1750 multiplier. Yeah, my dad once asked me, he said, "Can you drink one beer and turn around and walk off from it?" I went, "Yeah." He said, "I never could." And I went, never enjoyed feeling bad. I got to where I went TDY one time to a little bitty army base and got terribly over. And where did we leave? That's plant seeds that we've got a ton of. Tree seeds, fusion cells. can drink just one and walk away usually, but it's been a stressful week, yeah. I have to say, if there was ever a time that I was gonna drink, going through a divorce would have done it. Well, I've got all the things to make. We have bees around here somewhere. Food, seeds, squash. Let me demand bee larva and go, I want it quick as I can get it, and we'll see whether or not anything pops up there. Oh. I need to make it. Nope, that might not work. Let's do this then. And eventually, we're going to make it. How do you know you play this game a little too much? You can't remember where the genetic stuff's at. But that's all right. Butterflies, butterflies. Okay, let's see here. What do I want to make? Perhaps treat yourself to some comfort food instead, something you don't often get. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I have to admit I don't eat steak all that often, but because it's just too darned expensive. But for our anniversary, what did we do? Went out for steak. Had a really good time. About froze my backside off, though. They had the restaurant just terribly cold. Well, at least I'm getting honey. I'll at least get bees out of there at some point. Zeolite, obsidian. Nope, it's not obsidian I want. Silicone, nitromethane, circuit boards, osmium. one of those now. Come on, bees. Could I? Could I? Nope. Phytoplankton. I'm going to try something. Why? That's why it won't let me do anything, because it won't do it. I've been craving steak lately, but too expensive and no way to cook it. Thought about ordering one at a restaurant that does takeout orders, though, for a treat. Yeah. Yep. And now, animal things. Well, okay. That's probably not good for anything else, but I think I got all the parts for one animal rocket. Yeah, I have a once a week that I can do. I can eat macaroni and cheese once a week. Any more than that, it's a bad thing. But I can walk off from it once a week and not, feel any ill effects by it. Now that I've got carbs out of my system, it takes a couple of days to catch up and everything. That should make the animals go good. Now, if I can just get some more genetic stuff. Animals. Yes, animals are on the march. 61% toward complete terraformation. We've got about 23 minutes left. Give me some bees and we'll make this thing go. And I've already filled in the phytoplankton that I took out, so there's nothing to do with it. That means march upstairs. And as Dave would say, make a fish smoothie out of it. And as Country Lady would say, ew. Yeah. See, I knew. All I need is a few bees. Come on, bees. What else can I put in there that will hold it? I just thought of something that might do. So I didn't need bees. I just needed any old thing. That's 6 of them. And it wasn't like we didn't have a few. They needed to make that have 6 compartments in it because you need 6 of them to set off a rocket. But they only have 5. That's a pain in the butt. But at least it's quick. We're going to make the animals go up. Whoop, don't miss the door. Yeah, didn't put any fish in it, but there's fish in it. Kind of like, and miss the steps. No, I don't fly a lot. Why do you ask? Oh, yeah. Gosh, if I could build 2 more of those. Well, there's only one insect spreader rocket. I could do a few more of those, I'm sure. Smooth, Johnny. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you all want to be me. I know it. Old, broke down with arthritis, with a little dog and a wonderful wife. Yep, you all want to be me. Oh, heck, I've still got some time. Go over here and see what the insect spreader rocket is all about. I can't remember the recipe for that. 3 bee larvae, tier 2 mutagen, and an osmium rod. If I've started collecting bee larvae, finally. It's either that or I'm going to have to make them. Get that out of my gonna need 9 bees and I hope. Nope, that's not the one. You dummy. It's the one next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I miscounted, but well, I've got the old and broke down part already. I guess I better work on the husband and the dog next then. Yeah. Yeah, but then you got to walk around the neighborhood 3 times a day with your veteran's hat on. I'm working real hard on the broke down part. I've got to go back down into the mutagen drawer container and get another purple one. Okay, bees. And there ain't anything I can do other than, and those are tier 1s or tier 2s. That's why I'm not getting any beehives. Tier 1s only put out honey. Tier 2s put out honey and a beehive and a bee larva. Let's see. I've got all the rest of that stuff, I think. Yeah. Do not have any ecosystems to my knowledge. Tree bark? Tree bark? And now I can take those other ones down, build up the second ones, and still be... Yeah, okay. Guess we need to work on our completion levels, don't we? Tell you what I told my son, don't be like me, be better than me. Mediocre at best. Come on. Can't say as I'd recommend the broke down part though. After this week, I'm a bit closer to completing my country lady, I'm going to tell you, even when you're frustrated and tired, you're funny. Okay, now that's got that going. Watchword for this week will be oi. Yeah. Yeah, it's right when I wake up first thing in the morning and roll out of the rack and go. I'm usually moving pretty slow at that point. know you all are sitting there wondering what I'm doing, making it to where after everything gets full, you're doing automatic deletions of stuff. And it just did it. So that tells me that there's a whole lot of fish stuff going on. Yep, I was not wrong. Automatic fish movies. Walked across the living room the other day and there was a loud pop. My husband said, "What was that?" I said, "That would be my knee." I have to admit, I'm thankful for one thing, is that my knees really aren't bad. Having hips and lower back be bad's bad enough. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Right there and right there. Once I get the bees that I'm looking for, I am going to end it. It's going to be right near 4 my time. I hate to say, but true. And I need, 3 times 4 is 12, so I need 12 bees. There's one rocket's worth. Let me go and put that up in the air to at least do something entertaining. Bye, bees. Yeah, you think you've woke up with the Rice Krispies. Nothing but a bunch of snap, crackle, and pop. That worked out pretty well that I got back over there and there was enough bees to do what I wanted to do. Now, I have to say, looking back on a lot of stuff, I was never a big dog person. I let my kid have them and things like this. I wasn't crazy about them being in the house or anything. And when Randy and I got married and she said, "I want a dachshund, is that okay?" And the answer was, of course, yes, because I like it when my wife is happy. And I got to admit, that little dog made me a dog lover because he was fantastic, an absolute hoot. And I wouldn't trade the involvement of a dog in my life. I used to joke I lost a promising career as a cat burglar. Ah! Yeah. Yeah, when did you start sleeping with the whole Rice Krispies gang, right? Snap, crackle, and pop. Howdy, James. I got to say, you've come in on the tail end of it. We're almost done. I've got a couple more rockets to send off, and Darlene, did I say hi to you? I don't remember if I did or not. need one more bee. We love dogs too. We just aren't home enough for a dog. Cats pretty much take care of themselves. Yeah. Don't burgle my cat. Yes, you did. Thank you, Darlene. I appreciate you keeping me straight. Lord knows somebody's gotta. I have nothing against cats other than the fact that I'm allergic to them. If I get them in my face, my eyes swell shut. I sneeze like nobody's business, and it's not a good thing for me, no matter how you slice it. Two at once. Yay! Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Kinda wish real life was as easy as a video game. Gotta repair some pressure plumbing, been putting it off. Oh. You were talking about that the last time you were in stream, James. Same plumbing you were talking about before, or a different bunch of plumbing? Animals and insects going up now. If I'd have done a few more plant spreader rockets, they would have all went up. 65% to complete terraformation. I'm not unhappy with how this has gone. That's one thing about being retired, James. I can put stuff off quicker than I know what to do with. Just get up in the morning and go, today's not the day. If I have to work hard, I will, but it's not what I enjoy doing. All right. This is where we're going to leave it. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow morning or not. I haven't decided what I'm doing. I wouldn't mind doing Lethal Company again, but it would take some time for me to get really comfortable with that. I just don't know. Let's just put it that way. And Lord knows I might get up, have wild hair, and figure out something to stream and go from there. I've got some games that I've never streamed that might be worth gandering at. I hope, since Dreas wasn't streaming, that this has been entertaining to some of you, and that you have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go and probably walk, because I have about 2,000 more steps in the Texas sun. Wrong parts were purchased, had to exchange. Found some wood and a black stain like mold, and this double white is kind of too much work, but it's where I live. I understand that. May not be there tomorrow. Big days, so may not be available, but I will try. Thank you, Shaman. James, I understand. Sometimes you got to deal with the hands you've been dealt. I understand it. It was great. Like I said, I might be here tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll just have to see. It's very possible. It's going to depend upon what I get up and feel like. All right. You folks have a good afternoon. It was a heck of a lot of fun. And Game has been saved, and now we're stopping. Y'all have a good one. Good deal, country lady. I'm glad it helped. Leave a like. So far, it hadn't been blown away by a tornado, so that's good. Yeah, that's true. That is true. All right, you guys have a good afternoon.